So I want to start by saying that after um, after I got kicked out of my female trainer's truck, um, I had been called and asked if I tried to run her over, um, which I didn't because I knew exactly where she was, and she was talking about the time that I was sliding tandems that she told me to do, and at that point, I thought I was going to lose my job. I thought that they were going to believe her over me and that I was going to lose my job and they were going to think that I was an unsafe driver. So I was just like, all right, I guess this is the end. And then I went and I talked to one of the dispatchers and I told them what happened, and he was all like, all right, well, I'm going to set you up with a really good trainer. I was like, okay, cool. And after my training thing, like I was done. Like I wanted to quit so bad. I was so pissed off about everything I was going through. Um so I talked to the dispatcher. He says he's going to set me up with someone and like I still think that I'm going to get fired. So I get a text message from my terminal manager. He tells me come into his office on Monday and I'm like, fuck. So I go into his office on Monday and he's like, all right, so I want you to sign this piece of paper saying that, we're not forcing you into this guy's truck and this is going to be your trainer. And like we hung out on Monday and I talked to him and he seemed really cool, ex-military, which works for me because I'm an army brat. Um, and then like Tuesday, he told me that he wanted to do backing and shifting practice. So I did backing and shifting Tuesday, and then like when we went out to do our shifting, we went around the block like 3 times, and then I got pulled over for a level 2 inspection, which I passed, so it was pretty nice. It was a loaner truck too, so like it wasn't even his truck. And then we went back to the yard, and I was too nervous to do anything, so we left. And then the next day, we were leaving to go do some more stuff. So I'm in his truck, and like the first week, I was really nervous, and I was trying to get used to it, and like he would help me relax, which was really nice because my other trainers, they would tell me everything that I was doing wrong. And what he did was the first day he drove. So I didn't drive at all the first day. And he told me what all the buttons in the truck do, everything like that. This is my third week in a truck. And this is the first time that I'm being told what everything does. And then the second day I drive and I drive how I would normally, and then the third day before I started driving, he told me, that this is what I'm seeing, this is what could be better, this is what you should improve on, this is what we need to work on, these are your strengths, these are your weaknesses. And I'm like, wow, awesome, we're on the same page. I believe that I'm weak in those places too, so it helped because he wasn't like the second day he didn't tell me anything. He didn't tell me what I did wrong at all. And then the third day before I started driving, he was just like, "All right, so this is what was wrong." And that helped me because like while I was driving, I didn't feel like I was doing anything wrong, which helped me be less nervous. And since I've already had high anxiety the whole time that I've been doing this, like that really helped. And then like once him and I passed like the first week we didn't fight at all. Like there was no fighting. It was we were talking about his life and my life and I was getting to know him, and then like anytime that I had a question about laws and stuff, he would tell me the answers or he would tell me to refer to this law book that he had in his truck. So like he was really knowledgeable, and it helped so much, and he had 26 years of experience, and he had been training for like 4 or 5 years. So it was very beneficial, and he does truck rodeos. So like he knew his shit. Um so then we get past the first week, and it was just kind of getting to know each other. And then the second week was um him and I team driving. Like, he trusted me enough for us to team drive. The only issue was, as soon as I would get off the freeway or something, he would wake up so he could help me back, because backing was like my biggest issue. It still is. Um, so he would help me back, and then um, because I was still struggling with backing and stuff, he told me that I needed a third week because I was only supposed to be in his truck for 2 weeks. But because I had shitty trainers, I needed an extra week. So I got another week, and it was really nice. Everything got a lot easier, and it was more habitual. But so there's a weekly evaluation. And on the first week he gave me an evaluation, and pretty much everything was a 3. And it made me really sad cuz like I've been in the truck now for 3 weeks, and I'm at a 3 on everything. I pretty much don't know anything, and it was frustrating. It was really frustrating. And I wasn't mad at him for giving me a bad evaluation, cuz he was being honest. But I was more mad at the company for giving me bad trainers, and mad at my trainers for being shitty trainers and doing it just for the money. And then after I got over that, and I was like, I'm going to do better, my shifting and stuff started improving a lot. And then the second week, I got a better review, and his review actually made me cry because he said that I would be a great asset to the company. And like, after hearing that, I wouldn't even make it as a driver, and hearing from somebody a lot more experienced say that I was an asset and that I'm doing a great job, like, it made a huge difference. And after that, like, I was pretty much like, balls to the wall, let's do this. It gave me a new motivation that I didn't have. But it was really hard. Being away wasn't very hard. It was more just, you know thinking that I wasn't doing enough. And then finally, when I was able to learn and be into an environment that was actually teaching me, and I didn't have to try and self-teach myself anything, it made a huge difference. So that was incredible. He was an amazing teacher, and I learned so much in his truck. I learned not only how to drive the truck and how to maneuver it, but I also learned different laws from different states, which is really important as a truck driver, because the states, different laws are different in different states. So it was really educational. And then he he was the first person who was like, you can use my bottom bunk, I'll sleep on the top. That way you could sleep no matter how late I'm driving. And it's like, that's awesome, So, and I watched a couple of videos where people were like, never sleep on the bottom bunk. So, like, when my first 2 trainers were like, oh, you could sleep on my bed, like, I was kind of like, is this a test? So, like, I didn't want to sleep on their beds. With my second trainer, I had to, because of the truck that she had, it didn't have a restraint system on the top bunk. So, I had to sleep on her bed. But with my third trainer, like, he made me feel at home. And when you're driving a truck, that's what you need. You need somebody that feels like family around you to help ease your nerves, and you need somebody who treats you like this is your house too, you know. He even handed me keys to the truck. So I wouldn't have to wait for him to unlock the truck or anything, which aside from my husband, like he was the only person who handed me keys to his truck. So that was really nice. I mean, I gave him back after training, but you know, it was nice to feel like that was our truck for the time that I was in it, you know, and he let me listen to the radio and, you know, I could listen to my music, he could listen to his. Like, it felt like we were a team. And that's what my other two trainers didn't make me feel. They made me feel like it was their truck and I was just borrowing it to learn. And that's not okay, you know? So, anyways, that was my third trainer. He turned out a lot better than the other two. So, I'm finally out of training. And my next video will be about the road test. It'll be a really short video. All right, bye.